Hey guys, what's up? Here with Brayden here on behalf of the Hero Duelist, and today we went X1 at our locals. There was no undefeated, however, though, put me in the top placings. Even still, what I use today is the new Goblin Rider engine for Phantom Nightmare, along with the pairings of the Gold Pride p.u.n.k engine. Really powerful standard builds, but thrown together, chopped up a little bit, but they still work fantastically. Same standard destination. Let's get right to it. So, starting off with the Goblin engine there. 3 Jug Chargers, great for searching up the spells and traps. Also as well, you take an XYZ material off of an XYZ monster anywhere on the field and you get to special summon it out from the hand. It's pretty damn cool. It's also mean merciless. You can pretty well do the same thing in regards to special summoning by detaching XYZ material. However, though, when it's normal or special, summon a Goblin Biker monster from hand. And then, of course, when it's engraved, you can do the vanishing thing. You can do that instead of the hand, sorry. Of course, one Clatter Sploder, very interesting name, funny guy, but he's essentially a reborn, pretty cool stuff. And then moving along outside of the goblins, we going into the punk stuff. We got 2 Zaemins, pretty standard for using the punk build, searching for punk monsters, adding to hand. The No Punk Foxy Tune, and of course 1 Ogre Dance. I've been opting to switch this out for possibly another Zaemin, or even just to keep things short, moving along into a different engine just to kind of keep my resources, everlasting. And then of course, going on to the Gold Pride, we have 1 carry. We're using 1 Roller Baller, and then going on, there are 3 Star Leons. Star Leon can't summon itself, however, though, it's pretty spicy if you need to get Rollerballer back out, if you need to get even, I'm guessing, any other non-warrior ones from grave, as well as carries, great for looking for the trap. Whether you happen to use the Leon or other level 3s, it's a great means to get into Chariot Carry, going for that spell, really accelerating your field. 3 Tour Guide from the Underworld. This is a great means to be able to special summon out Mean Merciless, just so that way you can get your field started, get that big Gabunga out, and then start searching out goblins, taking monsters as XYZ material, gaining control of the board really swiftly. And then of course, just a tight little win package here. Here we got going on the Speedroid Terror Top and the Tactenberg. Pretty standard level 3 stuff, and Psychic Tracker just for that free summon, just in case you need a little bit of extension. It's not a bad way to go. Moving on to the hand traps, got triple Effect Veiler, triple Ash Blossom, just means that, you may end up going second, and even if you're not going second, you still have a means just to kind of turn them off. And of course, let's not forget Infinite Imperms. I could have used higher rarities, but I didn't, because I'm a spicy boy and I do spicy things. And going into the spells and traps, for the goblin stuff, we just have 1 Grand Entrance and 1 Grand Bash. The Grand Bash is great if you happen to be using the rank 6. It's a great way just to be able to get the bigger guy out in case you want to really explore the Goblin archetype, but more or less using for the additional normal summon, especially if you happen to use all the effects already. The Grand Entrance speaks for itself. I've been thinking about using 2 of them myself, but it only ever really needed to come up when I actually needed it, and only the one time, so it didn't clog up my hand or anything. Pretty exciting stuff. And then last but not least, the Grand Stampede. If you're ever concerned about needing a monster negate with a goblin on board, this is a great way to just kind of help things out and being able to keep control. So, one of them, not bad at all. Moving into the Gold Pride stuff, bam. I thought I was going to end up needing 2. You know what? I was wrong. I'm totally fine with 1. Everything worked out very well, being able to get the Gold Pride monsters I needed and get the party started. Of course, there are also 3 emergency teleports, pretty standard stuff, being able to summon out 3 psychics, primarily either the Psychic Tracker if need be, or the Zaemin, whatever happens to come to mind, whatever you can make more use of. And of course, for Gold Pride, excuse me, I almost forgot about Start Your Engines. And you already know what Start Your Engines does, pretty standard stuff in any build, including Gold Pride. Also as well, we have Reinforcement of the Army and Full Armor XYZ. Standard stuff for utilizing XYZ extra deck stuff, especially once again, keeping control of the board, keeping a high muscle monster out there. So that's the main deck there. Moving on to the extra deck really quick. There are 2 Goblin Biker Big Gabungas. I call them Cowbungas for short, but in which case, great means to be able to accelerate the board state. On summon, you get Goblin monsters, that's great. And when you detach material to summon, regardless if you just detach material in general, you get to absorb stuff, and I think that's a great control state. Also as well, we also use for the Gold Pride 1 carry, 1 pinballer. They recycle themselves, and with the better luck next time, it's a great way to add additions to your hand, and just a good muscle, as well. Just 1 Link Monster, 1 Cherubini. I have not played Cherubini yet. I have not ever had a need to. it's a fun option. It's entirely up to you if you happen to go that route, but if not, there's always room for other utility. Number XYZs, Fortune Tune and Bamboozling Gossip Shadow. Fortune Tune's incredibly useful. It's a great way to keep yourself well protected, but this hardly ever comes up for me. Gossip Shadow, though, he's an actual MVP. He sets up additional monster negate and a fat booty on board, so ain't nobody getting past these cheats. And of course, let's not forget your friends and mine, Downward Magician and Divine Arsenal AA Battery Zeus guy, you know, Sky Thunder, all that fun stuff. You know, the usual standard jazz. And of course, as we mentioned from Full Armor XYZ, the meal tickets of being able to just search for things, draw cards, and take control of stuff. And again, another fat booty on board, you know, not getting past the cheats. And of course, F-Zero, Draco Future, another monster negate, another means for good aggression. And then last but not least, just as a weird cinch, because I know everybody comes up to weird materials during their games, it happens to be Baron to floor, you might come across like 3 non-tuners on board for level 3s, and then all of a sudden you might have an effect failure on board. I don't know why you would go into this, but he's a fun space to take up. And then last but not least, just showing you what we're siding real quick. Now, the Boombox, they may seem like sidecars because they don't do anything really quite outside of their special summoning ability, but they have proven their worth more often than not, especially like going game 2, if your opponent happens to go first and you actually get to set up properly, especially if you rock open with like infinite impermanence or evenly matched or anything. These guys work absolute wonders. Plus, they're wins, so you can Tackenberg summon. Pretty dang cool stuff. 3 Evenlies, of course, again, another MVP, the deck that has really panned out very well, setting up a control board, so it's essentially like you're going first, but in style. Of course, 1 called by in the side. I know, Mise, why aren't you maining this? You know, I didn't think I would need to main it. There have been a couple situations where it definitely would have proven beneficial, so I think I'm more than likely going to make some adjustments and do exactly that. 3 Ghost Spell in Haunted Mansions. There are those decks that do those things, and those things cannot be done because those things hurt your things, and your things cannot be hurt, otherwise you lose. You dig? And of course, 3 Nib tokens. Smooth Granddaddy token. Fantastic stuff. Get on in there. Show them that freshy goodness. Oh yeah, do you smell what the Nib is token, baby? Yeah. And last but not least, 2 Triple Tactics talents. It's not like you really need the additional draw or even just to take additional monsters. Ripping from hand, that may be a lot more beneficial than the other ones, but I've narrowly had to put any of these guys in my deck whatsoever. Again, the deck just kind of bounces back very well. But it's a good space to fill up there, and it's what I had at the time, so it's what I work with. And that is the amalgamation of, I guess, Green Bean Casserole, you call this deck here, the Gold Punk Goblin Biker. I guess wacky racist deck I'd like to call it. So thanks for coming around.